Hey guys, welcome to the Tech Point Africa podcast. My name is Muiwa.
My name is Oluwanifemi.
I'm Emmanuel.
And I'm Tej.
Nifemi, welcome back. We missed you last week.
Thank you. I missed you guys too, and I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah.
Hope you
It's
brought
good to have
something
you.
for our listeners.
Hey. Nifemi, did you bring something for our listeners?
Nah.
Hmm.
No, it's not.
Ah.
I wasn't absent because I wanted to get something.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so if you're a regular listener, you have probably noticed that sound quality is not as good as last week. That's because we're not in our studio. We're recording remotely again. I mean, the last 2 weeks was fun because we were able to record from our studio, but
Yeah.
well, we have to do what we have to do. And of course, today is the last episode for the year for the Tech Point Africa podcast. But Beauty in Africa is not stopping. Beauty in Africa, our sister podcast, you are still going to get episodes every week in December and even in January. But Tech Point Africa podcast is taking a break today. So, thanks for being with us, like Nifemi said. Okay, let's get on with stories of the day. But okay, first of all, how are you guys doing anyway? How are you guys doing generally?
Fine, I guess.
Mhm.
And I yet to catch the is it flu of the
Christmas is in
season.
the air, but it's not in the air.
Exactly.
There's no Christmas in the air. It doesn't feel like it's Christmas.
at all.
2020 has been one kind of year, man. This 2020
Yeah.
has been something else. Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, 2020 has been some sort of year, but at the same time, it's not like there has not been good news or things have not been happening. Yes, for a while, things were stalled, but some things happened. Like, I think it was 2 weeks ago that Nifemi went to see a movie, Nollywood's first animated feature-length animated film.
Yeah, so we have Good for Nigeria. We had our first feature-length animation movie titled Lady Bucket and the Motley Monsters. We went for the
All made in Nigeria.
yes,
Oh,
all made in Nigeria. Script writing, production, the animation were done in Nigerian studio.
the animators. Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah,
I
that's
went
cool
to watch
stuff.
it. Right. Yes, it hit the screen on Friday, December 11, and subsequently it will still be shown. So I went to watch it. I liked it. I would rate it I would rate it like 8/10. I like the storyline.
8/10.
Yes.
It's a
That's
must
bold.
watch then.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's still in the cinemas, right?
You should watch it.
Mm.
You
It's
should.
still in the cinemas. Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, but
I mean, you go to watch it before everybody else. Yeah.
yeah. Well, personally, I think the story I gave it a lot of pass, being that it's the very first to come out of Nigeria. So yeah, but
It got a pass.
yeah. If
Okay, but
if
is
you've been
it?
seeing several of it, and I saw that,
Yeah, exactly.
you don't have rated
But
that
it's
highly.
good that it's a first, and it's like we can really expect more of that from
Yes.
Nigerian animation studios.
And Africa
Yeah.
too. Because just while we were still on that, Disney made an announcement that is partnering with a Pan-African
Back to back.
animation comic
Back to
studio,
back.
Kugali Media. They wrote a comic titled Diwaju, which Disney is going to adapt into an animation movie. Scheduled to
So who is going to do the
come-
animation? Is it Disney?
Oh yes, Disney is partnering with a Pan-African company, Kugali Media, which is founded by Africans from Nigeria and Uganda, and other creatives from other African
Oh, okay.
countries. Yes, the intention is to tell the
Oh,
African
okay.
story. It's titled Iwaju,
Oh,
roughly translated as the future.
oh.
So you should expect it
So
to be a
Africans
sci-fi
telling
movie.
African stories
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
with
exactly.
Disney. Africans telling African stories backed by Disney, as opposed to
Yes,
Americans telling African stories, Wakanda,
Yeah.
backed by Disney.
exactly.
Okay. Oh,
So
good
we should
times. Good
expect
times.
it by
Okay.
2022.
Okay, cool. We'll be looking out for all of that. So let's get to the matters of today. This week is another funding galore week. Heritage. You have plenty good news for us.
Good news.
Yeah,
Funding galore all
so
over the place.
Everybody grab your money.
they're giving us back to back as usual again. So we started off in Senegal, right? Ulu Solar, right? They are a solar energy startup. So they produce these solar home systems, right? Pay-as-you-go systems. And they've been in operation since 2015. So they raised $8.5 million in Series B, right? And 2 years ago, they raised 3.2. No, that
Hmm.
was 2017, and $3.2 million. So they want to use the investment because now they are present in five francophone and anglophone country. Nigeria being duly anglophone country, right? So they want to expand out of those markets and also build upon their existing technology. So it's cool
They are
that
YC bags, right?
yes, exactly. I wanted to mention that they are YC bags, and they went to
Hmm.
YC in the
Right.
first year of their launch. That was 2015. But the founders are expats
Oh, okay.
actually, not indigenous Senegalese. But I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's cool
Cool
that
stuff.
they are still based there, and they are doing things. And for now, they have 60,000 home systems they are deployed across those countries.
Who would have thought that an hardware company would be raising this much? Because running a hardware startup is
Yeah,
not
it's
easy
not
in
a common
Africa.
thing
You understand?
for African
Yeah, it's
startups.
not.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
It's not.
hardware startups, it's capital intensive, is it not?
Yeah,
Most
and
of the hardware
like
stuff we
energy
do.
startups are hardware startups, most of them, and they raise a lot of money.
Yeah.
Energy,
Even
resource,
Rensos, there was
exactly.
Rensos.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they raise a lot of money.
Energy is still something that is very what's the word now? I don't know how to explain, but yeah, you're right. The trend is in energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So they are in Kenya, coming to East Africa. Ilara Health, a health tech startup, right, raised $3.75
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
million dollars in Series A investment too. So
Wasn't it just last year they raised about 700 and something thousand on undisclosed amount last year? Wasn't it last year?
so before this $3.75 million Series A, like you said, they raised 725K seed investment last year. And just 2 months ago in October, he received the 1.1 million grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? The popular foundation by Bill Gates and his
Mm-hmm.
wife. So what they do is they have this they make medical diagnosis available and affordable, right, in Kenya because their present market is just Kenya. So they source equipment, medical equipment at affordable rates, and kind of sell it to these hospitals at discount prices, right? And the problem they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to solve is that okay, these medical facilities are not readily available, and most of them are like outdated and all that. So Ilari Health is making these health facilities available, right? And these ones are better than the ones that are already in the market. So beyond making these devices available, they want to integrate a proprietary technology platform with this investment. Yeah, they want to also expand across other East African markets too. And I think they just launched in 2018 and they fully launched last year. So it's amazing what they were able to do within this short period of
Mm-hmm.
time.
I think
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they need
Yeah.
this because well they're not using existing hospitals. They are building their own facilities for the services they
exactly.
are rendering. So I think they need a lot of funding for an health tech
Is that is
that's
that
not doing software.
is that viable? Having to build their own facilities?
No, they're not
Is
building
that
their
viable in the long
facilities.
term?
Is so
Oh,
they are partnering with these already established facilities and they're providing them with medical equipment because these facilities lack those equipment, right? So that's what
Oh,
they are trying to do
okay.
for them. Yeah. So the normal like even if you go to our federal hospitals in Nigeria, I see outdated equipment and all that. So Ilara Health is trying to make these facilities the new ones, the ones that are used worldwide, right? Bringing it here and making it affordable for these guys to use because the government will not step in and provide them with stuff like that. So they're just in Kenya. Yeah, just in Kenya, I
That's a
guess.
great idea.
Yeah. That's a
And they're
very
planning to
great one.
expand
Yeah,
to other.
other East African markets. Although the CEO Emilian and Popper didn't mention the markets to expand to, but he said it was going to be East African markets. I mean, to be good if they
Yeah, so
expand to
probably
Nigeria itself. Yeah.
maybe eventually they will. So, but we can expect maybe Tanzania, Uganda, and all of them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
very,
love
very.
what they are doing. I love it. And I think Tech Point Africa was there when Tech Point was in Kenya last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So
last year.
yes,
Yeah,
last year.
Yinka did a story on them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah,
Another
the
good
one that
news.
happened yesterday was uh yeah, so just three major funding news. Another pre-seed investment, and this year has been like a lot of pre-seed investments happening. and this time is another API
Oh, Lord.
fintech startup.
And they're all breaking records with the Precede. We're
Well-
hearing Precede of 300, 6 figures.
Yeah,
It's,
it's crazy stuff. So these guys are called OnePipe. Like I said, they're an API fintech startup and also a banking as a service platform.
one pipe.
So
Yeah.
early in the year, OnePipe. Early in the year, we heard about Okra. We heard about Mono. Okra raised $1 million.
Yeah.
Mono raised 500K. That was around August or June. I think around June. Then now OnePipe, another major API fintech startup in Nigeria, is raising 950K. So it's their year, and okay, OnePipe is saying they are different from these guys in the sense that they're like a super aggregator for financial service API. So whereas these guys just link APIs to collect account statements for lenders or for organizations that need them, OnePipe is saying that on their platform you can link to Mono API, you can link to Okra's API, you can link to any bank API or any other financial service API, not necessarily just banks, right? And because of this ingenious technology, if I can use that term, they're able to raise this 950K. So the CEO is Okwe Adeoye. He has experience at InterSwitch. So I think it's one of those reasons why, people are able to trust him.
Why there is so much, yeah.
Exactly.
But so what they're doing now is, so we have fintechs, then we have fintech APIs like Mono and Okra that are
Exactly.
like providing kind of back end or something for fintechs. Then OnePipe is now the one behind all of that again.
It's not
Like
as if
that's
they're
the level
behind
they're
that.
playing in.
They're not behind them per se,
Yeah.
but on their platform you can access Mono API, for example, because they've partnered with Mono, right? But for now they've not
So are
partnered
they
with Okra.
so they're like an aggregator?
Exactly, yes. An aggregator for
Of
these
sorts.
APIs, yeah. So they are like what he
Okay.
said that they want to be, they are doing open banking in the absence of open banking, that kind of thing. So they're, gearing towards, making open banking Nigeria a thing, in the coming year or so. So the lead investors in this round was Techstars, Atlantica Ventures, and also other angel investors that participated. Idris Ayobelu, a popular angel investor in Nigeria. There is also Chris Aldes Batch from an early investor in Kuda. And I mean, they're just big names that are supporting these guys, Aggressive Capital and all that. Zcrest too. So,
Yeah, it's interesting to see that even throughout the pandemic, startups keep raising, but it keeps looking like the usual suspects. So the first one was energy, renewable energy. The second one was health,
yeah.
and this one is fintech. So those seem to be like there was a time when it was mobility and logistics, but then after the whole Lagos ban
Yeah.
in
You've
February,
calmed down.
yeah. So but right now the hot things are health, energy, and fintech,
Interesting stuff.
and okay, talents. And then talent, I guess. Well,
Yeah.
congrats to all the startups that raised. One startup is not having really a good time right now. They launched earlier in the year, EcoCab. They are supposed to be like a ride-hailing platform
said,
for
mobility
yellow
and
cabs,
logistics.
traditional cabs. But something happened this week or earlier in the week that we found, like, Emmanuel.
Yeah, so we found out that the Lagos State Taxi Drivers and Cab Operators Association, they partner with another ride-hailing company. They called Universa. So the Universa is spelled UNIVASA. So they made this announcement, and of course we're confused about, okay, what does this mean? What happened to EcoCab and all that? So I had a chat with Shegun, the CEO, and he's claiming that, they have a non-compete clause signed with the Taxi Drivers Association. So
No compete.
he's not sure.
So if they have a non-compete clause, why are they announcing another startup as a partner?
Without
Okay, so,
any
yeah.
mention of the partnership they made before. That was what weakened me. Like, why will you do that? At least you made an announcement for that one. Now you're making another partnership without even mentioning. No.
Yeah,
If I remember correctly, at the time EcoCab launched, there was some backlash because the timing
yeah,
was off. I think
yeah,
there,
it was
there,
very,
there was some
very
regulation
restrictive.
there was some regulation that was against ride-hailing companies. I can't remember. You remind me.
Yes,
And
yeah.
there was backlash. So maybe this is just a lesson to show that when you partner with governments when you partner with, how do I explain it now? Should I say predatory moves or should I say opportunistic move? You can be the next victim.
Meanwhile, I agree with you that it can be the next victim, but this was so fast. It
Yeah,
wasn't up to
but
a year itself.
first
So
of all, I'm a bit cautious about calling them victims yet. Like I still want to give them the benefit of the doubt for now because according to him,
mhm.
they didn't actually plan the old babas and their vehicles into the
Uh,
equation when they were launching Eco Cab.
so who are they now
So
partnering
Okay.
with?
Hmm.
they were partnering with the younger taxi drivers that had newer cars, that had
I think
AC
they
cars,
actually brought
according to
Oh,
him.
I
newer
see.
taxes then too.
Yeah, they
Okay.
brought newer taxes in. So he said the backlash that came, and when they saw the yellow cars, they just thought, okay, it's all those old cars that the
Mm,
Babas used to use. But according to him, they are bringing in younger guys. I think, I think they said maximum age they've gotten so far is like 45. So the Universal came in and they now want to bring in those older
Babas.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes. So they named the feature Baba Day Online. So
No. So
it's
are you saying that those two will be running concurrently?
sorry.
EcoCab would be servicing new cars, taxi drivers, while the Universal will be servicing older ones. Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, I
I'm
didn't
not
get
sure I
that.
get you. I got you very well. Yeah. So are you saying that because it's not very clear, but are you saying that they will be running concurrently the two startups?
Yes, it most likely is looking that way. Even though
But
there's
even
a
EcoCab has not run. I mean, since when it launched was just before the pandemic, so nothing happened. We've
yeah,
not seen anything happening. Unless, well, I don't know, but the time I tried, not I was able to get a cab. So I don't know.
yeah. They've not been functioning, and of course, Universal too. They tried ordering a ride, nothing. Both the yellow
So
cab
are
and
all
the
these
normal
things
cab
like
they
audio
claim to have.
partnerships or something.
I'm still looking at it. He
Well,
says they're going to
we'll be
launch
watching.
next year. Yeah, so we'll be watching.
We'll be watching. Speaking about government, let's go to Kenya.
Hmm.
Government is governmenting in Kenya.
As in,
Yeah. Very
Well,
weird stuff. Very,
it's
very
like
weird
they
stuff.
sorry, it's
They're
So
like they used
busy
to have meetings with
governmenting.
Nigerian government every time.
they have a WhatsApp group. So what is the Kenya government doing this time to the digital economy?
okay, so yeah, they said they are demanding every Kenyan citizens to disclose whatever text message or WhatsApp message or SMS or whatever means of communication you have in your phone at the request of the cabinet
Hmm.
secretary in charge of national security. So if the
Mm,
cabinet secretary feels that the communications you are having might be detrimental to national security, it can demand that you disclose that information. And if you don't do that, you'll be fined about 1 million Kenyan shillings. That's about $9,000. And of course, and it will come along with a 1 year imprisonment, or you could get them separately, depending on the judge that is on seat
so
that day.
after
So,
this thing,
but
they will still collect the information, Navi.
of course, they'll collect the information. So, yeah, it's just like they've tried it before. That time it was the Communications Authority of Kenya that was telling the telcos to install something called the data management software in the devices of all their customers so that
Mm.
they'll be able to track those using fake phones and they'll be able to track cyber criminals. Then, of course, those making illegal phone calls. Very, very weird stuff. But the telcos themselves pushed back. They were like, this thing can be used to spy on people, and they refused to install it then. So, but now they've come to another route, and they said, okay, to protect national security and to protect everything that is worth protecting in
Mm.
terms of information that could cause harm to Kenya. So that's what they are doing. But of course, feels, it smells every
My big
way
brother.
wrong.
What I don't understand right now is how did they determine that your communications or your communication is a threat to national security without first invading your privacy? Because they're saying they will be
Exactly.
allowed to check your
Hmm.
communications, private communications, if you're a threat. But how did they even in the first place determine that you're a threat? Is there an
Hmm.
arbitrary way? It's not clear to me. It's just
I think
so
they can just
vague,
make a
and
wild guess and be like, yeah,
that's a
it
very
looks like
dangerous
someone
speculation.
that.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
ambiguous. So there's a very broad definition of what they mean by data. So in the original law, which was enacted in 1968, it was like there's a clear definition of what kind of information that could be a threat to national security. But this time around, they're using the word data, and we don't know
Mm.
what they mean by data exactly. So it could mean anything from your social media messages
Post.
to your
Yeah.
text message. It could be
They,
anything. And if
they
they
have to
see,
protest against that.
it's just it's very very weird. And we just hope. No. Why am I
Africa
even
is really a
bothering?
country. Africa is really a
But I
country.
feel you should just be towards get silencing people, sha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
geared
that's what
towards
is geared
silencing
to us. That's
protest
what is geared
and
to us.
yeah,
Mm.
dissent.
That's what is geared to us.
Hmm.
That's so crazy. And meanwhile, uh, back home too, government is still governmenting. Like I say, Africa is a continent. Africa is a country. What did
Mhm.
CBN just release recently this week now?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Central Bank of Nigeria.
They say, okay, so they just said that no mobile money operator or payment switch provider can receive remittance in Nigeria again. So
Oh,
every
that's going to kill the business of OPay that just is that not?
so
No,
I've
go on
been thinking
first.
about it. So for OPay, right?
Yeah.
For OPay, they don't
Yes.
have a mobile money license. They have a microfinance bank license with Paycom. So
Oh yeah, with Paycom,
so
yeah.
so they are technical. So I'm not sure about Paga. I've been trying to find out the kind of license they have, and of course,
But do they even offer remittance in the first place? Do any of them like Paga and any of those
yeah,
guys? I'm not sure any of them.
Paga or partner with World Remit. So there's this partnership that
Oh yeah.
allows them to send money from abroad. Then you correlate it direct from all those their agents in naira.
Mm.
So the CBN is saying they gave a directive that remittance should be collected in dollars, not naira. But these guys are still paying in naira. So and so therefore, you guys are
They must
banned.
stop.
So
Oh, so if I'm the idea behind this is that why the CBN is saying they must collect in dollar is that they're trying to increase how
the,
much forex is in the market, right? I'm guessing.
yes.
But is that what I don't understand because if there's an enabling environment for for business and exports,
Hmm.
people will naturally bring
Bring
in
in money.
money. So why are you now like tackling something that is so personal? Remittances.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's,
It's too
it sounds
personal.
very
Situation.
misdirected to me.
So sending money to a grandmother in your village, the grandmother has to go and be looking for where to change dollar.
As in,
The dollar. What the hell now? How did they make all these regulations? Just the same thing with the one that is trending this week, the NCC thing,
Hmm.
where all SIM cards, we have 2 weeks to register, connect our SIM cards to the national
That's
ID.
legit the
What the heck?
most
I don't understand.
awkward
I
thing
think we
that
have 12 days now.
Yeah, we have 12 days. Oh. We started on the 16th.
Oh, we have 12 days.
Yeah,
I,
15th
I
rather.
still don't
Counts down.
understand the rationale behind that because how long? First of all, how many people have a national ID? I don't think there are
42
also 40
million.
million.
42 million.
Meanwhile, we have hundreds of millions of
207 million
registered.
subscribers.
Yes. So is 2 weeks enough to? I don't know.
And
Emmanuel, you were out earlier today trying to get it done. What happened?
Okay, so I didn't go out early. I left the house like 9:30 and I discovered that was very very late. So I was talking with one of our colleagues, AY. He was saying I should have left by 5 a.m. So
To go and register your national ID. To go and
yeah.
register for national ID. 5 a.m.
Yes. He got there by 6 and he's still in queue as at 9:30. So when I got to, I went to Ikotun, Alimosho, like one of the biggest local governments in Lagos, if not the biggest. So I went to the local government and they told me to come tomorrow to put down my name, just to write down my name for next week.
wait, is this to get
So
your NIN or to
yes,
link
to
it
get
to
my NIN, first of all.
Just to get your NIN so that you can be able to attach it to your SIM card or you lose your SIM card in 12 days
Yes,
or
yes.
11
So
days.
I don't have an NIN,
the
right? I have
difference
an
is that
international
they are not
passport.
even acknowledging a lot of discrepancies on registering for your ID card and even registering for your SIM. There was a time that the person was telling me that if he registers SIM with the three ID cards that he has different first name, different middle names. It's only the
Hmm.
surname that is the same in all the cards. So
Hmm.
how do you want to do this? And my own case is even different because I've registered, I've gotten my plastic ID. So apparently I have NIN. But unfortunately, my plastic ID got missing, and I'm trying to use the USSD to retrieve my NIN. The thing is telling me that
You
I
can't
don't
get
have
it.
an NIN. Like
Are
I
you
used to
serious?
have
Wow,
a classic
someone that
ID.
can you
So
imagine? Someone on the flip side, someone that has not registered dialed and got an NIN number.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there
Someone
are a
that's not
lot of
registered.
things that are going on
Very,
that
very
they are not
weird. So,
acknowledging, and then you are
okay,
coming
so
with a
let me
So
start.
fresh.
Emmanuel,
The Nigerian
Emmanuel, were you
government
able
is
to
not
get
one
your?
to acknowledge. So I don't know.
Yeah, so okay, so let me even start from the beginning, right? Let me start from the beginning. So Nimsi said to make the process quick, you should start online. They have a portal where you can pre-register. So you fill in your basic information like your name, date of birth, and all that. Then when you just go
Mm.
to the enrollment center, just go to the enrollment center, they capture your data, capture your fingerprint and your photo, and you print, and you are good to go, right? But the Nimsi website has not been working since yesterday. I tried it this
Of
morning.
course,
Good.
of course
So
not.
I
This
got
one.
to I got to the enrollment center, and after walking around a bit, I finally found it. I got there and they told me that did what I wanted to do. He printed it out. I think it has been in his house since, from the way it's looking old. He presented it to them. He said, "What is this?" Say, "You have not started anything. You've not done any registration." I'm like, ah. Said, "When we register, you will know." That is for one. So it said at the cartoon, they told me to take 2 working days. So I have to come tomorrow morning by as early as 6 a.m. to write my name down to schedule the registration for next week. So even if I go
To
tomorrow,
write your name to
sorry,
schedule. Wow,
yeah.
you have
So
to write your name to
yes,
now get registration next week.
yes.
But
So
you
I
could have done
can.
this. Why couldn't you have done this online? Why is it not possible for you to
I don't.
book an appointment online
There's the portal
for this?
is just messed up. So I decided to try another LCDA. I went to the one at Ejibo. They told me to. They started describing one weird place for me to go and start the registration. They told me to enter back to so and so place. After describing it, like very very weirdly, he now told me that is if I want to suffer myself, oh, but if I want to do it sharp sharp, I can come inside. Ah,
Oh God.
so
Oh my goodness!
I met someone and he was ready to do it for me for 5k, and I will get it today. Like
Can
right,
you imagine?
5k.
Are
All
you
I
There's
need.
kidding?
nothing. There's
That's
nothing
the
realistic
spirit.
about this directive.
There is not at
There is
all
no
nothing.
way that
I think we should
in less
call
than
their
2 weeks.
bluff. Like maybe we want
Yeah,
to
it's
do.
better. Yeah, it's better they block our SIM cards. It's
But
better they block
then
it.
again, some people are saying that might be true.
I don't seem moved by this threat of blocking things. I just don't. I
Hmm.
don't know how they expect Nigerians to pull this off.
They
There are a
can't.
lot
It
of
can't
things that
work.
are not considered.
Although in fairness, it was I think Nifemi, you are the one that did that story in February
Yeah, they announced
when
that.
the NCC announced that we have till December 2020. So most people don't know that. But even at that time, I remember the story you wrote. You explained why it is not practical, why it's not
It
possible.
is not.
This was in February,
Yes,
right?
because there are a lot
So
of
between
if
February and December, why was there not enough
nothing was
awareness from
said
their
about
end?
it, and then they
Hmm.
Well,
just
some
say
people are
in
It's
two
saying
just
weeks
crazy.
if they block
do
this,
magic.
maybe it's geared towards what is it called, the whole internet thing that they want to shut down and all those
What
stuff.
internet thing?
They're shutting down the internet, right?
As in, yeah, an indirect way because
Shut
you
down
can't
the
access
internet.
the
Why?
internet without your
Uh,
this thing, without your SIMs. So
no, I mean this doesn't extend to ISPs like Spectranet, Swift, Smile,
It
um,
Spectranet.
all the
You
other ones.
can't get a new this thing now without NI.
Oh wow, interesting. Of course, you can't register a new SIM without the NIN also.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
like you said, we are calling their bluff. There is nothing that can happen within 2 weeks. There is no way they are going to disable any lines
yeah,
within 2 weeks. And if
okay,
they
yeah,
you
do,
guys, if
all
you
well
guys
and
don't
good.
hear from us
Move
yeah.
on with our lives.
January,
This does not make sense. Imagine having to leave your house at 5 a.m. At 5 a.m. just to write your name. It doesn't make sense. So let's just forget about it.
Yeah.
But
No.
like I said, African governments will continue governmenting. Or
That even reminds
whatever
me.
that word means.
It took them
Yeah?
13. It took them 13 years to register 42 million, but they want to register over 100 million in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Oh, come on.
it's magic
Come
now. No time.
on. Let's just leave all that one, I think. Let's just leave all that one. Anyway, so next year, of course, we're still hosting our digital currency summit. Emmanuel I'm sure you're not tired of telling people about it. What's it about? Very quickly. So
Yeah,
remind me.
so it's just to bring like the latest up-to-date discussion on digital currencies and of course plot a chart towards building the money of the future. So expect to network with like the biggest and brightest minds, and of course we'll be inviting regulators to come and join the conversation. So don't don't try not to
Should
miss out. Just go to
should we invite
currency.techpoint.africa.
regulators? Sorry, is are digital currencies, crypto and all of them, and Bitcoin and blockchain not
Mm,
supposed to help us circumvent or overthrow central powers like governments? So why are
mm.
we inviting regulators?
Yeah, so regulators are trying to
Devils
regulate.
are playing
So
devils
we want to try and
advocate here.
pick their
Yeah.
brains to see, okay, what is the plan exactly? And yeah, so a particular panel session might feature that particular discussion about regulations because the SEC has brought out a document about cryptocurrencies. Then the CBN, we are still expecting one from the CBN, but I think they did a conference in 2018 where they invited all the players in the sector just for
Okay.
regulation, just to bring sanity. So yeah, the conversation about regulation is probably going to be at this stage. But if you can't figure it out now, then people might just go their separate ways in the
Yeah,
future.
I agree. I was just playing devil's advocate. It's better to carry regulators along now
Mm.
so that they're not playing catch up later. So yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And well, maybe
That's
we
that's
need the
when you just said that,
regulators
it just
to
reminded me of
actually
my
know
chat with
what they're regulating. Because when you put people that don't know about cryptocurrency on a committee talking about cryptocurrency, what do you expect them to come out with? So probably leave
Yeah.
them there to learn.
Mm.
I wanted to share a story from an interview with John Obaro of System Specs, the company behind Remita. I think
Mm.
that interview was 2 years ago. He talked about how when in 1992 or in the early 2000s, I can't remember the exact date, when it was just starting it out, barely there were barely any fintech companies then. Nobody knew about all those things. Regulators, So what they did was, while they were still building it, they went and had a meeting with regulators and said, "Hey, hi CBN, this is what we're doing. It will enable us to do this, pay instant and all of that." They're like, "Oh, okay, go on, carry on. We'll be in touch." And then when the time came for them to do regulations, the system specs was called to the table to be part of making those regulations. You get
Mm.
I'm talking about the early 2000s. So yeah, it makes sense to engage with regulators early enough. But on the other side of it, it just feels like the whole idea, I guess, the perception or the way digital currencies and blockchain is usually sold is that, oh, sticking it up to the man, like we don't need the government, we don't need any central body. But if you look at it all over the world, it's looking like everything is going to still end up central. We're
Mm.
still having central bodies. Anyway, those are the discussions we'll have at the events. Let me not say things let me not be way ahead of myself.
Mm.
Currencies.techpoint.africa, right?
Yeah,
To
yeah,
register.
definitely.
Currency.techpoint. We'll put a link in the episode notes. Again, guys, so we apologize for any sound quality issues, any other issues we have noticed. If you notice people talking out of tone or anything like that, it's because we are recording this remotely. We're not in our studios, so we don't have studio grade equipment. So sound may be poor, people may be talking out of tone. We really apologize. It's sad that this has to be the last episode of the year. It would have been nice to finish the last episode of the year with a bang, like recording in our studio, which we always enjoy doing. But thanks for listening. Thanks for staying this long. You that have stayed this long that did not skip. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. If you're listening for the
Thank you.
first time, you can get this podcast. Heritage, I'm pushing that to you. Where can you get the podcast if you're listening for the first time?
Or if you're listening for the first time, you can get podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, Stitcher, Hyatt Radio, or any other place you get your podcast except SoundCloud, if I'm right. Yeah.
Google Podcast too. No, we're no longer on SoundCloud. We're no longer on SoundCloud. If you go on SoundCloud, you see old episodes. So don't go to SoundCloud, please. Go to Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and if you don't want to install any app, just go to podcast.techpoint.africa.
Yeah.
Podcast, you'll be able to listen to all the episodes. You can even search. And don't forget us, while this is our last episode of the year for Tech Point Africa podcast, Built in Africa, our other podcast in our network, is still on. Wonderful episodes that are coming out in December. We already released 2. One more is coming out next week. So Built in Africa is not taking a break, but Tech Point Africa is taking a break. Nifemi, any last words before we end this long episode? I mean, it's good. When you do season finale, they're always long. So this is a very long episode. We know that. If it's not skipped, thank you very much. Yeah, Nifemi.
We want you to enjoy the holidays, even if it's not in the year. Create one, create the atmosphere in your homes among your friends, and enjoy yourself.
Thanks for that, Nifemi. So, guys, we'll catch you next year on our first episode. But please, we want to see the numbers of Beauty in Africa spike up, because you are there and you are sharing to friends and families, sharing all the good news to them. We thank you for listening all this while. And I guess we shall say bye-bye now. So,
Yeah.
guys, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Take care of yourself. Bye.
Peace.